welcome to episode 12 of House of LSD Radio. I'm your host, iamBrandon, and on this week's episode, we have one of our favorite Chicago DJs. And we'll have them in a minute, but it's been quite a few weeks, so we're going to actually get into it. So I know in general that we have kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus, mainly because I was moving. So I was in the process of moving, and we were kind of thinking of the structure that we wanted to do the show. So we have had some great, amazing guests so far on the show. And in order for us to make sure that we're giving each guest like enough love and support and attention, is that we're going to be doing the show a little bit differently. So we're going to be doing it every 2 weeks, or we'll be making sure that we tell you about the schedule and all that kind of stuff. But we wanted to be able to give a labor of love to all the guests that we have on our show, because each guest is very phenomenal and great, and we don't want to rush into the next person each week. So if you are in tune to listen to us every week, we do really appreciate the support, and please continue to listen to us. But we're changing the schedule just a little bit. But you know what? If you get to listen to the show when you can, that's what we do appreciate. But our last episode with CZ Boogie was very, very good, very awesome. Thank you for everybody who tuned in and got to check out CZ's mix and all that great stuff. But yeah, besides me moving, also, I did my debut set at Smartbar, which was pretty wild. It was my second time playing the Queen Party, but actually my first time ever playing at Smartbar. So I went into it, prepared. I had been preparing for, 3 months out beforehand, just to make sure I was ready to have a good time and make sure the environment was great and everybody had a good time. And I gotta say, it was one of the best feelings to be able to be a resident at this party who's there all the time to support, dance on the dance floor, and to be able to be on the other side of that end and providing people with an experience to dance and feel free, how I feel free every week that I go to Smartbar. It was a great feeling. The set is on my SoundCloud, so if you do want to listen to it, it is there. The one thing I will say is that there were some technical issues, so it wasn't my fault. It was the way it was recorded, so if you do listen to it, there might be a few things on there, but it is up there for anybody who wants to see. But yeah. But in general, upcoming events, I will be playing in Detroit in June. I just was able to announce that recently. So I'll be doing a stint at Spotlight if you're out there. And also I will be playing Detroit Motor City Pride. That is not released yet, but if you're listening to this, you got a first exclusive announcement there. And also I will be making my this is actually my second DJing gig that I'll be doing for a gaming event. So if you're out in Dallas, Texas, and you're a gamer, I will be out there for DreamHack Dallas. I will be the opening DJ and official DJ for the event. So something different, which I was very happy that they reached out to me to be a part of it. But it's going to be a really fun experience. So I cannot wait to see everybody out there. Once again, I'll also be playing on Memorial Day weekend. No, on Memorial Day, actually. Oh my God. On Monday, Memorial Day. So I'll be doing a B2B with Adorio. Also, we have Mike Dunn, Derek Carter. Sorry, my mind is going to a blank because there's so much things happening right now. Gene Hunt as well will be in the building with us. So it'll be all of us together playing at... I gotta remember the name of the rooftop. There's so many things going on, I can't think of it. But if you follow me on Instagram, I have all of my events that I'm gonna be doing over the next few weeks up there. And this Thursday, I'll be playing at Cashmere. So once again, they're welcoming me back, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, just a lot's been going on since the last episode. So I do apologize again for anybody who has been listening, wanting to hear more from us, and just kind of was wondering where we're at. There's a lot of things going on in my life, but we are now back in schedule, trying to get everything out with y'all. So we're really, really happy about everything that's going on with it. So without further ado, we are actually going to get into our guest of the week. So our guest today is a remarkable rising star, and not only are they a well-traveled DJ and a Smartbar resident, but also a recording artist and radio show host. A master of both vinyl and digital records, they have been filling Chicago dance floors for a decade. Please welcome to our show, our friend, Madeline. All right. Hello, Madeline, and welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Brandon. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is like I was talking about before. This is the first like show that we've done from my new place, so it's a little bit different. So like if you're watching on the YouTubes, you'll see it's a little bit different. But we're very glad to have you on the show today. So to get things started, you call Chicago home, but you are not a native from here. So we'd love to hear about how your journey came here in Chicago in general.
Yeah, I grew up in the Bay Area, and I grew up in a place where a lot of people had either like had parents who grew up in the same town, or other family members, and a lot of people that I knew grew up there and then went somewhere else in California for college, and then moved back and raised a family, that sort of thing. And I definitely always wanted something different for myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted some space. Um, Love my family, but my entire mom's side of the family lived like in the town that I grew up in. So I just needed to chart my own path. And so when I was looking for colleges to go to, I initially, I was being a spoiled California person. I was like, I'm not going to the middle of the country. But I looked at Chicago, and I came here to visit one summer, and I just loved it. I was shocked by how much I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started kind of looking in earnest at places I might be able to go to school here, and I ended up at Northwestern. So
Oh.
that was my journey. Yeah, to
Mm-hmm.
first to Evanston and then to Chicago shortly after.
Oh, I love that. Well, this is something I didn't know, but through the research, found out that like a lot of Chicago DJs, he spent a lot of time working at the legendary Gramophone Records. So I definitely need to hear about how this happened and like your experience and how has it shaped you as an artist.
Yeah, such an amazing institution. I actually coincidentally got to know Michael Serafini, the owner, through the radio station at Northwestern. So
Mm.
there is a radio station there that it's like a 24/7 FM frequency. So we have students and community DJs. They call people who aren't students, because it's a lot of air to fill. So I joined it pretty quickly when I got there. It was a big community for me and something I was very involved in. And yeah, Michael did a show there for a long time on the late night programming block called Street Beat. So one quarter we had shows back to back. So he always had the 10 p.m. on Monday. He did a show called The Deep End.
Mm.
And one year I had the 11 p.m. slot right after him, and that was how we met. But he was always, he and Gramophone were historical figures within the radio station student community. I feel like we were always wanting to take field trips to Gramophone, or, immerse ourselves a little bit in it. So I felt very lucky that Michael saw something in me, and after I graduated and was around, and we'd been friends for a while and had been playing, he just asked if I was, interested and available and helping out at the store sometime. Uh, and in terms of how it shaped me, I mean, vinyl culture is really something special. It's definitely not something that I try to uh, be too much of a purist about. Like, there
Mm-hmm.
definitely are people who are purists about it. And for me, it's just another avenue to find more interesting music that I wouldn't be able to find otherwise. So
Mm.
in a lot of my sets, I'm playing both digital and vinyl.
Oh.
Um, to me, it's not really the format that like there are different things I like about each of them, but it's
Yeah.
not really the format that matters. It's really just like different types of sounds that I wouldn't be able to get, maybe digitally or historically. But I do love like the historical culture around
Mm-hmm.
vinyl. I really like learning about music history, and people there. It's such a great community of people who work there. They have the weirdest taste, and it's pretty awesome. So.
And this also leads into a really good question for people who may not know like the difference between vinyl and digital. Like, I guess how does it work, especially if you're doing both? I think that's incredible because it's two different like different machines and different equipment to use. So it's like I'm interested myself to just kind of know about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the hardest part is just, I mean, learning to training your ears to be able to beat match accurately is
Mm-hmm.
it just takes time. It's
Yeah.
something that nobody else can really teach you, and you just have to do it over and over again to
Mm-hmm.
actually, I've seen some silly diagram somewhere that was like, this is how learning to beat match rewires your brain. But basically it is something where you have to kind of like train your brain to rewire some circuitry to even be able to like distinguish between two tempos in a very fine grained way, because it's not really something that people need to do, in an evolutionary sense.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, like it is either CDJs or vinyl is about matching the tempos of two records and then blending them together in a way that feels, seamless. So there's an element of it that is like sound design, or more like mixing in the sense of how you would think of producing mixing, like balancing the levels of different sounds to make them sound seamless. But I think my CDJs that I have at home are very old, and they don't have a lot of special features that a lot of the newer ones do. They really just like are a digital way for me. They operate like a turntable that you can play digital things on,
Yeah.
So I think having the opportunity to like practice on digital equipment that is more similar to vinyl also has helped me to, I don't feel as much like I'm switching brains between the two of them when I do it. It feels pretty natural, but there was definitely a time where it felt, harder to be switching between the different, tracks. And of course, in CDJs, you can do a lot more stuff like looping and other things that you don't get to do in vinyl. But at the very fundamentals, if a CDJ could do nothing else, it would just be a way to like play a record digitally, and then be able to change the speed of it, which is the other most important part.
Exactly. I love that. And as a follow-up question, I was going to ask, like, do you find yourself, especially when you're going into a vinyl set compared to like, digital and all that kind of stuff, do you find like it being a different experience, like, going through the crates and figure out what kind of songs? Because like, I was actually talking to my mom about this the other day. Like, you have to physically bring these records with you. So I feel like that's a more just like an experience that you have to feel within yourself. So I was just kind of curious about how you felt about that.
Yeah, it's definitely something where you have to be more like selective about what you're going to bring, or you have to think harder about what is the vibe of this night going to be, because it's harder to bring, with a USB, you could have a bunch of different playlists. You're like, well, I'm not really sure what the vibe's going to be, so I'll just bring a few different ones and then I'll feel it out, which is great. I mean, you always want to read the room. But with vinyl, I guess you do have to think a little bit more ahead of time about what am I, thinking that this might be like. And that's another reason that I like to have the option of digital also, is because sometimes it's not what you think, and it's a lot. And then you're like, oh no. And then you panic because you're like, this is all I have. And that's just like the mindset I don't want to get in right as I'm starting a set, is like panic, obviously. But I think also you just have to know your music very well with records, right? You have to, because you can spend time before every gig like, what does this record sound like, and going back through it, and it takes a lot of time to do that. And there are many times when I've done that, but ultimately I usually end up pruning or like reselling those records that I can't remember what they sound like, because it's just like, if I can't remember what it sounds like, and I've listened to it a few times, and I'd probably never played it, because if I can't think of what it sounds like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I should reach for that record. You know?
Oh, that is so interesting. I didn't even think about that too, because like, you can't just like instantly go into something, because it could be a title of the song, and if you don't even know it, it doesn't make sense to keep. So that I'm glad you brought that up. That's really cool.
Or playing the wrong side of a record. I've done that before, where it's like dark and you can't see, and you like, it's like two edits of the same thing, but they're slightly different, and then you play wrong side, and you're like, damn, I actually hate this side of this record. So those things happen with vinyl that make it a little bit different, but it's also really nice because you cultivate a collection that like you feel very close to, that you feel like you know very well. You have records that, you have memories tied to, like, oh, this worked really well in this set, in the setting, or something like that. And it can feel a little bit more of like a deeper relationship over time with the music than sometimes with digital, when it's just like, you're trying to get new stuff, and you play something for a while, and then you just like don't really play it again. And,
Oh, I love that. See, this is why I'm glad we're having these conversations because it brings up like so many topics that like I have never played on vinyl before. I would love to like in the future just like try it out and see, but it really does. You really have to know your music. Like you can't just like go in there thinking that oh I'll do it really quickly. If you don't know the record, then you're kind of in trouble. So yeah.
Totally, yeah, because the breakdowns and stuff too, you have to know like when does the beat change, when does like this chord progression come in.
Hmm.
You know, it's so nice having the waveform on a CDJ. You can
Yeah.
just glance and see, oh, I have like, 8 bars left until there's like a break or something. And this would be a good time to transition. It's a little bit more like making sure, that those elements are all in place too.
Awesome. Well, this actually goes into something that we have been talking about. You recently became a resident at Smartbar, which is the golden standard for DJs in Chicago. So, how does it feel to be a part of this amazing group of dance music DJs?
It's a huge honor. It's, there's not much else to say. Besides it's a really special opportunity. I feel very lucky to have gotten it because there
Hmm.
are hundreds of very talented DJs in Chicago and many people who deserve it just as much as I do. So yeah, I started in 2023, so this is my second year,
Hmm.
and it's been really great. I think it's done a lot for me in terms of enabling me to like believe in myself a little bit more and
Hmm.
take risks and have more confidence. I've gotten to play out of town and just really grow in a way that I feel like something about it has helped me feel more confident in being like, okay, this is what I like, this is my sound, and I don't have to necessarily accommodate to what I
Hmm.
think other people want to hear. There's a reason that, someone asked me to like curate this night, right?
Yeah.
Because curation really is about like lending your taste to something, um, your range of tastes, I guess.
Yeah. Well, speaking of curation, so you have a party that you host at Smart Bar called Statement Piece, which I have been there quite a few times. Great, great
Thanks
event.
for
Please go
coming.
if you're in Chicago, go to it. But what was the genesis of this event, and what are some of the ideas and concepts that like are behind the whole event and party?
Yeah, so I had the statement piece name for a little bit before I did the residency. I had my radio show for a while on WNUR, was called Statement Piece.
Hmm.
I think the idea behind it was kind of what I was alluding to before of like, well, it depends. When I would have guests, I would kind of say, interpret this as you will, but like a statement on something, whether it's a statement on like, this is my sound,
Hmm.
right? This represents me as a DJ, or if it's like a statement on a particular thing you want to make a statement on, whether that's something in the world or something more specific, like a particular genre, or a particular place and time. Those were sort of the ideas that I kind of would give people when they were coming to do a show. And that was kind of how I would, I guess, enforce it on myself also. It's a little bit, obviously, and it's not every week is going to be like, this is my
Yeah.
sound, right? So I'd have to vary it. But that definitely drew on my like radio background because in the radio show, we would do a lot of themed sets where it would be like, I don't know, something, it could be even something silly as like, songs from the state of California that start with an A or something like that. I don't really do that in my
Yeah.
sets necessarily, but kind of taking that inspiration in terms of having something conceptual, right?
Hmm.
And when I transitioned into doing it at Smart Bar, I definitely wanted to keep those things in mind, but also have it be more of a this is my sound, or this is my range of sounds. These are the people that I think are making a statement in some way or
Hmm.
another.
Hmm.
And there was also initially like more of a visual element. I was partnering with my partner Daniela
Hmm.
Luna on some of the creative aspects in terms of like visuals and hosting. They ended up getting tied up in some other stuff, so we didn't pursue a lot of the visual elements, unfortunately, in the last couple of years. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to move towards doing that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because statement pieces. Every time I play, right, I'm always like, okay, what statement piece am I going to wear? Of
Yeah.
course, like, for a theme, you pick out, a statement piece, and
Hmm.
that's always fun. But we were also trying to do more specific themes of like, I think the first one We had one that was stiletto. We had one that was
Hmm.
chandelier. So there were a few themes in the beginning. Yeah, I think it ties back into what I started with of just like making a statement on your own personality, whether that's through your music or through your clothing or through your, just your style.
Yeah.
All of those things make up your style.
And I
So
gotta say, your style is amazing. Every time I see you, you always look great.
thank you. Thank you.
So same,
I've
yeah.
learned a lot. Honestly, Daniela was my stylist for a while, and I've really learned a lot from them and blossomed into my own stylist, but
Hmm.
it's also fun to collaborate with them sometimes. But
Love to see
I owe a lot
it.
of learning about clothing, especially to them. Yeah.
Love it. So really quick, so last year you played a Boiler Room set, which now has over 28,000 views on YouTube, which is an insane number. So I can only imagine that's like opened to so many doors for you. So what has it been like since you've done the Boiler Room set?
Yeah, it's been great. I feel like it's it is a lot. And it's
Hmm.
at the same time in Boiler Room, it's not a lot. Like
Hmm.
it is a lot. And I feel like I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from people both that I know here,
Hmm.
people whose opinions I really respect that have that's been really great. And then, occasionally a random person will, like at Smartbar on Friday, somebody was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, I saw your Boiler Room. I loved it." So
Ah.
those moments are always really nice.
Hmm.
Um, Once again, shout out to Jadella for creating the latex garment I was wearing in that Boiler Room. But yeah, I feel like it definitely has opened some opportunities. I played in Toronto for the first time last year after
Yep.
that, and I
Hmm.
played there again this year. I got invited to play ARC Music Festival last
Yes.
year after that as a result of that.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's been great to hear everybody's feedback. Honestly, when I listen back to it, I love the set, but like I feel like I'm a better, like much better DJ now,
Mm.
even than then. But I think that kind of speaks to how much I've grown and how much confidence that experience helped me to have in order to keep building on, whatever I was already showcasing in that set.
Which is, I honestly, I'm glad that you have that set like in like on the internet, so you can always go back and look at it and just see how much you've grown. And then
Totally.
like new people will always be finding it at any point, so that's always cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. Probably the craziest thing that happened after that was I played this show with Fred again, which is
Yeah.
extremely random, but it was really fun actually. I got to bring some friends and like it was just one of those things that you don't get to experience
Yeah.
every day, of like what it's like to be one of those people like on the
Hmm.
festival stage type thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna keep growing from there. I already know
We'll see.
it.
We'll see.
So kind of closing out here. So in addition to your DJing talents, we have to talk about your debut EP, Unlearning, which was you released back in 2022.
Yes.
Have you always thought about recording songs of your own, or how did it come about, especially when you were like doing the DJ thing?
Yeah, I have always been really interested in making music. I had a really good friend growing up, whose dad had GarageBand on his computer. And we
Mm.
used to like, when I remember being like 9 or 10, and we would like construct, like, just like constructing songs from loops that were totally silly. But it's always been something that I've been really drawn to. But
Mm.
at the same time, it's also very difficult to get to a technical level with producing that you feel that it's fun,
Mm-hmm.
because like with DJing it's a bit easier to get in the flow of the activity and like just really get lost in it.
Mm-hmm.
With producing it's definitely like I have this idea and I like wanna, and then you try to make it and you're like that sounds terrible, like that's not at all what I had in my head.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like technical skills that you have to learn before you can express yourself creatively through the tools of music production,
Mm-hmm.
and that is very difficult. um, and I dabbled in it for a long time before I ever was able to finish anything.
Mm-hmm.
And recording my own vocals actually was something that helped me kind of push past whatever blocks I was having. I
Mm-hmm.
think because I have very high standards in terms of what I like and what I listen to. And so, many people, many creatives are perfectionists. It's like, this isn't up to my standard.
Yeah.
But also I was like, I want to forge my own sound, but I don't really feel like this sounds very unique.
Mm-hmm.
So using, I mean, what is more unique than your own voice,
That's
right?
true.
So tapping into vocals really helped me feel like, okay, I'm doing something that feels like me or feels like different, and I'm having fun doing it. So I've been really working on producing a lot this year, and I'm hoping to release some more stuff soon. I debuted a new track at Smartbar on Friday.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm excited for what's to come in that regard.
Oh, wow, you get me all excited already. All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you being here. And now we're going to get in the mix on House of LSD Radio Chicago with DJ Madeline. All right, let's get into it.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
speed up.
Well, not that we expected anything less, but thank you so much for a killer set, Madeline. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Is there anything that you can tell us what to expect in the next coming weeks? I know you have a busy schedule, so we want to make sure that we promote everything and all things, Madeline.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This has been great, and it's been really cool to see these shows that you've been doing. I think it's great that you're doing this. I am playing a day party on Saturday with the Green Machine and Flow State. That I actually don't know the location. I think it's maybe like a DIY.
Okay.
But I'll let you know.
Okay.
And then what else do I have coming up? I'm playing in Detroit for the first time over Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Been going to Detroit every year since like 2017, besides the pandemic. And it's really an honor to get to play at Tangent Gallery, which is
such a great venue. Such a great venue.
Yeah, it's going to be a long weekend. Yeah. I'm glad I'm playing on Friday so I can be like, just a tumbleweed for the weekend. Go where the wind takes me. And yeah, I'm playing it like this street festival, Midsummer Fest in June with Queen. Awesome. I'm playing in Seattle at the end of June. So I definitely have some stuff coming up on the horizon. And then, of course, Statement Piece with DJ Wolfie on the 14th.
Yes, we'll be there.
We'll
be there.
It's always a fun time. Yeah.
Sorry. And the last thing I was just going to say, where can people find you on social media if they're trying to see any of your mixes or just like catching up with you in general online?
Yes, I am on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Madeline-URL. You can find a lot of my mixes there. And then pretty much the only social media I do other than that is Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at soft.content. So.
Okay, all right. Well, y'all, this was episode 12 of House of LSD Radio. I'm once again your host, iamBrandon, and we will see you on the dance floor. We will have another special guest. Until next time, we'll see you on the dance floor.
See you.
House of LSD is a creation of Rey Productions. Executive produced by Daniel Perez. Produced and designed by Jeff Ramone. And additional design by Polly Vons. Please follow us on Instagram at Rey Productions. Watch us on YouTube or listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and everywhere where quality podcasts are found. Don't forget to rate and subscribe on all platforms. We really appreciate your support. We'll be back next week with another exciting guest and more banging tunes.